26 years old, which is amazing. What would you tell young entrepreneurs now that are a little discouraged in their efforts, who feel like they haven't reached their full potential yet?
I think that the first thing I always tell young people is to stay on your hustle, and you can't fail until you quit, because I don't ever have experiences where things happen on my business plan. It usually happens on God's time.
Yeah.
And so it usually takes a little longer than what you've written down. I mean, it's nice to write a business plan, and it's nice to put your head down and go to work, but just sometimes you have to readdress what you're doing.
What you want.
So that's something I think people forget. I think people are quitters, and they have to remember that you can't fail until you quit.
I definitely agree with that. Now, recently I watched the interview that you had with Arsenio Hall, and you talked about black people embracing the word nigga. And you talked about, the state of hip-hop, and you said that you're actually really proud of the state of hip-hop. Are you proud of the state of black people as a whole and what we stand up for and what we believe in and our leaders?
Well,
our young leaders.
That's a loaded question. We always want every song to be Jesus Walks.
Right, and that's just not going to happen.
Right, no, but we always want the truth that the poets tell us to be inspired. But we have to look to the society that gives the poets the inspiration and then cure whatever it is there, and not the artist. The artist's job is to express what's on the hearts and the minds of the people. So what hip-hop has done is it's given a big microphone, to a lot of people who otherwise wouldn't be heard. A lot of what they say, people are disappointed by, but then they have to look at their own lifestyles and their own realities before they point the fingers at the poets who are expressing that truth. The preacher can say that rappers are sexist, but the rappers are not as sexist as the preachers. The parents can say that the kids are homophobic, but they're not as homophobic as their parents. You can't say that the rappers are as racist as their parents, can you?
Because that's where they learn it from.
They sure shit ain't gangsters, this government, right? They're gangsters, right? The rappers, right? So they learn from somewhere, and they only share our reality. So I don't, artists, it's not their job. Throughout the ages, it's always been, the poets have been, criticized for saying what's on the hearts and the minds of people. It's forever. It's not just American history, it's throughout history. So I'm happy what they've done, the fact that they've gotten underserved communities, big voices. If not for them, how would we know about the 80 kids who got shot in one weekend in Chicago? It's not newsworthy.
Now, speaking of that, Kobe Bryant recently spoke out about Trayvon Martin and about the Heat supporting Trayvon Martin, throwing their hoodies up. And he said he's not just going to support somebody just because they're black and jump to their defense.
Well, you know what? I was fighting the drug laws, and we had all of these civil rights organizations and great civil rights leaders sign a letter. And that letter was about the drug, about the federal prosecution priorities and process. And so you get Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and Charlize Theron, and you get Kim Kardashian, and you get all of these celebrities and the NAACP and the Urban League, and you get Harry Belafonte and other great civil rights leaders. They all sign a letter, send a letter to the Attorney General. He doesn't do shit, and then Justin Bieber tweets it out. And the Attorney General called me. So the idea of something going pop and being talked about by a larger community than just the social and politically conscious people is important. It's scary you have to make a politician do good sometimes to make the infrastructure change. So in that case, Justin Bieber tweeted out about the prison industrial complex, and now the Attorney General did change his policy on how he charges first-time offenders. So I'm always looking for celebrities to support important causes. Kim Kardashian shut down the congressional hearings against the Muslims when she tweeted out, "I am Muslim today too." We had our Muslim Today rally, so she was very helpful. So Justin and they did smart things. Well, Kobe, this case was pretty stupid. So Kim Kardashian and Justin Bieber used their celebrity for good, and Kobe said something that wasn't so good.
Now, speaking of Kim Kardashian and Kanye, who I know is a good friend of yours, they are covering the April issue of Vogue, and they've gotten a lot of backlash because of it. And I feel like hip-hop influences, now reality TV is influencing.
I think Anna Wintour said the right thing when she said that her job was to cover, and she's young and eternally young in this choice. This choice represents somebody who is. Remember when the Beastie Boys were on Dick Clark's show, and he said, I love what you do, I'm very excited. I remember putting Curtis Blow on Don Cornelius, and he's like, I don't like this shit, but young people like it. So I felt him on the way out, and I felt Dick Clark wanted to stay in. So Kim Kardashian took what Kim Kardashian and Kanye are fashion leaders, and if she runs a fashion-forward company, then having the most prominent fashion leaders, whether you like it or not, that's our reality. So she did the right thing by putting them on the cover, in my opinion.
I definitely agree with that. Now, you have a new book out, Success Through Stillness. I have tried meditation before, and I feel like as soon as I sit down and try to be quiet, I start thinking about, I should be cooking, I need to go pick my kids up, I need to go pick the dry cleaning up. What in the book do you teach us to get into that state of mind, to get still, to just cut off everything from the world and get into our meditation mode?
Well, the idea first is you can't make the thoughts go away. All you need to meditate is a little bit of patience.
Okay.
If you sit and the alarm says 20 minutes, and you sit and you start to repeat a mantra, and maybe say the mantra is rum, and you repeat it to yourself, and you're sitting.
Because that's your mantra in the book, right?
That's the mass mantra I gave out, right? So if you're sitting and you're repeating that mantra, your mind will go crazy. At first opportunity, you'll do it, bounce around like a monkey in a cage. It's going to go crazy. It's going to tell you to go pick up your kids. It's going to tell you to go do whatever, but you already have a clock that says 20 minutes. So if you're patient, your mind will bounce around for a few minutes, and within 5 or 7 or 3 minutes, you'll say to yourself, "Oh shit, I'm meditating." Then your mind will bounce, and then your mind will bounce around some more, and then it'll transcend the thoughts even more. So it's a trick that said that your mind is in control of you, because if you have commitment for 20 minutes, you're in control of your mind.
That's what you have to do.
And the mind will settle. Everybody can meditate. All you need is a little bit of patience. You don't have to learn. Just sit.
I just have to get my patience up.
You sit, and you don't have to get your patience up. You're not leaving. You got 20 minutes. You sit. Your mind will settle.
Well, thank you. So let everybody know where they can get Success Through Stillness.
You can get it anywhere.
Everywhere.
It's a bestseller for the last 4 weeks, and you can get it at any website that sells books.
And you're going to sign ours today, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
We'll see you next week on Super Gorge TV.